Aries, greetings and salutations, my friends. Today we're doing something, more cooperation from your energy here, Aries. All right, I'm gonna start again. Aries, greetings and salutations, my friends. Much better. Today we're doing something different. Today I'm pulling cards with the intentions of calling out issues of self-care. And how it affects our relationships. I'm doing this because ultimately improving yourself will improve all relationships in your life, be it romantic or otherwise. And ultimately, you can't change another person. You can only change self. So let's focus on, well, that's weird. Let's focus on you, Aries, and what you have control over. So, you're starting to lose remorse for a particular situation, right? But you're also becoming very defensive at the same time. Like your walls are up. You're like, this is not my fault, right? This isn't my fault. But I have to. Here's what I have to say. The wound is not your fault, but the responsibility for healing it is. And right now, your defenses are up because you're like, I can't take a second wound while I'm healing from this one. I hope that makes sense. So, the changes in your resources make you feel like you're not at the helm of your life. Like in the past, people look to you for assistance, and now when you need assistance, who do you even turn to, right? You've always been the leader. You've always been the shepherd of your flock. And at this point, you're looking around saying, well, nobody else here really has the experience to assist me in this process. And nobody else has the resources to help me in this process, right? Because when it comes to resources, we can be talking about health, wealth, or time management. You're like, other people are just as limited in their resources as I am. So there's this feeling of helplessness, like there's nobody you can turn to really lean on. There's a few people who offer some assistance, but the assistance that you want is actually to be reprieved, even if just for a moment. Like just take all the responsibility off of you, even if it's just for one day. You are putting a lot of time and energy into trying to fix the situation, but ultimately, you haven't making a judgment on how much of this situation is somebody else's fault and how much of it is your fault. I'm gonna let you know right now, nothing is ever 100% someone. I mean, well, there's these self-sabotaging behaviors that we place on ourselves, but that's not what I'm getting from the cards. Remember, I said the wound is not your fault, but the responsibility for healing it is. So here, there are some things that you can take responsibility for, yes, but you're not ready to dive into it at that depth just yet. Right now, you're just focusing on on getting your resources in a better place, right? You'll sort all that out later. It's not that you're ignoring it, it's that you're putting it aside. Right now, you just have to work on those resources. But here's what I'm saying, and here's where the issue of self-care comes in. You're putting up these walls and these defenses, right? And you're not asking for the help that you need because you feel like nobody can help you. So you're actually putting yourself in an isolated situation and feeling like you have to do everything yourself. Ultimately, you're not even looking for somebody who could help you with the situation. You've already made up your mind that you've gotten that's it. you know? And it's almost, I want to say that you don't want to be a burden on somebody. Like, you don't want to be a burden on your family. You don't want to be a burden on your friend. So maybe it's not even that nobody can help you. It's just that you don't want to ask for a great amount of help from any one person. You don't want to feel like a burden. So it might be that you ask this person for one little thing, and you ask this person for help with that little thing, and then you ask that person for help with that little thing. But ultimately, you never get the full package, because there's no one person who understands the entirety of the situation, right? So Aries, the purpose of this read is to call out issues of self-care and how it affects you in your relationships. In your relationships right now, you are shutting people out from the full-on story, the people who can help you the most. And in this particular situation, I'm thinking it's family. That this is just my guess. It's probably family. And when I say family, let's take that term loosely, because like my Aunt Patty isn't a blood relative. She's quote unquote my Aunt Patty, part of my family, right? I have two people who I refer to as my kid sister, and they aren't actually, I have a real kid sister, and none of them are her. So, you know, it's that family, it's the people closest to you. It's easy to tell a couple of friends who don't recognize the entire situation, the entire crisis. It's easy to tell them that you're in a bit of quote unquote a bind. But that's exactly the problem with self-care here is you haven't found that one person that you can be 100% vulnerable with, because you want the person that you can be 100% vulnerable with to be able to look at the entirety of the situation and offer assistance. But your pride is not ready to ask for that assistance yet. Hmm. So if you feel triggered or upset by this reading, please feel free to vent your frustrations in the comments below. It's better that you vent this out now than let it spill out onto some of your loved ones. But the purpose of this reading is to have an open and honest conversation with yourself and look at what you can change in order to improve all your relationships. Because right now you're looking around saying, oh, there is nobody who can help me, and you're putting up your defenses and you're putting all the work into this and da 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 da. But have you really asked? If I know you, Aries, you're probably one of the people that people go to, because this is what I do a lot of my Aries friends. When I have a really complex problem I can't solve, I like to go to either an Aries or a Libra. That's where I find most of my help. Right? Oh, Virgos are good at that too. But I'm thinking about like the actual people in my life and what their signs are. And I find that they have those three signs in common, the people who I really rely on to help me with very complex problems. And it may not be that you're looking for a handout, it might be that you're looking for just some really good advice. But you need somebody who's an expert in a particular field, you know? Um, so have that open, honest conversation with yourself and see who is very, very close to you and is an expert in that field, because chances are you've helped them with a lot of different things. Chances are they're just waiting for the opportunity to return that favor. So I hope you found a message that serves your highest good. And again, if you're really frustrated, go ahead and leave it in the comments, because it's better that you let me know, because I'm expecting it, than let that spill out onto some loved ones, right? And I'll see you guys next time. I hope you found a message that serves your highest good.